Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd. Still cold outside, still rainy outside, but we got a warm panel. Joining us, we have Miss Becky Alley, top 1% of all originators in the United States. Good morning, Beck.
Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome, Facebook land, and anyone that is listening. I'm excited, but I'm ready for spring. Let's go.
I'm telling you, May 3rd, and we're ready for spring. What's that tell you about what we got going on here? Mr. John Cole. Good morning, John, co-host, along with Lisa Lawson, Harvey Freed, myself, and Becky Elliott, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
And as always, Mr. Harvey Freed, been in the mortgage business over 30 years, co-host and of 23 years of a long-running Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show heard every Saturday morning, 97.1 FM. Good morning, Harv.
Good morning, panel.
Yeah, and we have our special guest today. Welcome Ed Butler from the Good Company Real Estate in Royal Oak. Ed's been in the real estate business for a very, very long time. He is also the host of a YouTube program called The Closing Table, where he discusses everything real estate related. And we're lucky to share this half hour with Ed. Been in the business a long time. Ed, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Pretty excited to share a little bit about what we got going on and see where it takes us.
Well, we appreciate that. The show is brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, equal housing lender. Now that we got the compliance out of the way, Ed, I want to go to you, right? You've been around a long time. You're an expert in the Detroit market and surrounding market. Tell us what's going on in your world.
Yeah, man. So, similar to everybody else, right? A lot of buyers out here, not enough houses, right? Story that we've been, telling people, but they didn't believe us. But it's finally here again for sure, and we're seeing it. But for me, a little bit different is in the Detroit market, especially, we have a little bit more opportunity than we do in the suburbs. So, I like to take advantage of that when I can, place some people into some of these beautiful areas where we have a little bit less competition than we do in some of the, more bustling suburbs. So,
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because, for months and months and months, I mean, the Federal Reserve, we're going to get into that is meeting today. They're going to wrap up what they're going to do with interest rates. John Colvin, I think they're going to bump them up another quarter point of the Fed funds rate. But Ed, the biggest problem now in housing, it isn't the rate, right? It's not the rate, it's the inventory.
Yep. So no, 100%. It's not the rates, it's not the problem. We've had a whole year to chew on the rates and realize that they're not, really changing too much. This is the new world that we're in. Going on those, super, super low rates that we had a couple years back. And now this is the real world that we're living in. And do you want a house or not? And that's kind of what we're having to propose to buyers because sitting on the fence didn't do them any justice over the last couple of years. And I don't think it's going to help going forward either.
Yeah, everybody out there, you got to listen to what Ed's been saying. Listen, if you don't believe us every week, twice a week, 5 times a week, that we've been telling you this for a long time. It's not the rate, it's the inventory. And if you're going to wait, Becky Alley, you're making a big mistake. It's going to cost you more in the long run if you sit on the sidelines than rather jump in the game because home prices aren't coming down, they're going up.
I mean, the reality is even the ones that got out in January, it's cost them money because, there was that moment where you could get under asking concessions. And that was a 3-week window that you either took advantage of it or you didn't. And so then there's that natural, like in Michigan, I'm going to wait till spring and summer happen. Well, so does everybody else. So the ones that did get in it and didn't get out from like last fall to winter, they're the ones that came up on top, to be honest with you, because even when these rates come down, you're going to have that bigger influx of buyers coming in the market, and it's going to drive up the home prices, as we know, because the real topic is we're in a housing crisis. I mean, there's just not enough inventory, and that's the truth.
Yeah. Hey, John Cole, it's tough out there, but you got to stay in the market. You can't quit. We have all kinds of examples. I got one buyer, 9 houses, multiple offers on the one house, none accepted, all overbid. Another buyer, 6 houses, multiple offers, none accepted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. John Cole.
Yeah, I'm coming across the same thing. We've got agents out there just putting in offers with appraisal guarantees, over asking, and still losing out at the 11th hour. Actually, yeah, people coming in there offering top dollar appraisal guarantees, and then all of a sudden, in the 11th hour, someone comes in with 10 grand more, and in cash. And that's the problem is that some of these cash deals are not real. They drag it out, they go through the inspection period, and then they try to renegotiate at that point. So what we've been telling a lot of agents is, hey, get yourself in a position where you can be a verified backup offer, where there's an addendum put together. Sign that addendum with the seller saying, hey, if this falls through, we'd like to be your first choice, and we have it in writing. And I've seen that come through a couple different times now. And not only does it tie them to your borrower, but it also keeps them in the reminder that they do have somebody who's still interested in the home. Because sometimes these sellers go through a 10-day, 15-day inspection period, start to renegotiate, and forget who the people that came through the house who were interested. So you got to just go back, keep yourself in the forefront, and keep yourself a focus of attention if something does fall through.
Yeah. Hey, Harvey, before I get to you, I saw Ed shaking his head on all these points. Ed, what's your advice as, multiple offers, 6 houses, 10 houses, none accepted? People get discouraged, but you can't quit, right, Ed?
No, you can't quit at all. You got to stay in the game. And sometimes I like to tell my buyers to readjust their strategies a little bit, because everybody's doing the same thing, sitting by, the listings and waiting for a new one to pop up. And we're all going to go see the same one on Friday. Well, we're having a lot of good houses that sometimes miss the mark, and, they don't make it through that first weekend, and they may be a little overpriced, or something, the cabinets weren't updated or something like that, right? So I like to look at listings that made it past that first weekend, and then go see them in midweek, and then reevaluate there, because that's when you have less competition, because all the other buyers think something's wrong, when in reality, maybe you need $2,000 in cabinets.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, that's sound advice. Harvey, what's working for you?
The old-fashioned thing is to get these clients really to sit down with us here. It's the inventory situation is creating some unprepared buyers also. We're still seeing that. Technology's been really good over the last several years. But we're seeing families that used to sit down with us and really digest the education and the knowledge that gives you the confidence. John Culp said, hey, have your backup offer ready to go. My client took a backup offer, but when he saw the taxes and everything, then he quickly realized he got scared away. He didn't have the knowledge. He didn't have the confidence. And he walked away from an accepted offer right here in Oak Park, Michigan. So we're seeing that. And it's really sad for the uneducated borrowers, because the truth is they're more fatigued. They're more saddened, and they're having a harder time getting their offer accepted. They're even considering getting off the buy side of things right now. And again, now we have a whole group of new people that are thinking that the things are going to be slower in the fall. And as Ed mentioned, it's not going to get any slower in the future. Now, I wish I had a backup plan. You can see Ed is a rocket scientist. I can see all that stuff behind him. He's got a great backup plan. I need a backup plan like Ed. But Ed, you got to get this education thing. I like what you got behind you, because the truth is I feel like there's still a disconnect between a lot of people, and they're dealing with these new brokers too. I got a guy who works in Windsor, and he has a pre-approval letter. Yet none of these things he's done to meet the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines with this other broker. So we're concerned that a lot of the buyers are still missing out on the educational piece.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, let's talk about some hot areas, okay? I know you're a Detroit expert. We know the Woodward corridor is hot. We always talk about, Becky, a lot of areas downriver where there's maybe 5 or 6 houses for sale. For example, right now in all of Madison Heights, it's 20 homes for sale. Ferndale's got 30. Huntington Woods has 2, and there's multiple offers on both of those. The entire Woodward corridor is hot. Palmer Woods has 3 houses for sale, and all of Palmer Woods, 3 houses. University District by U of D, between 6 and 7 mile off Livernois, and you go east of Woodward, only 12 houses for sale. I mean, Ed, tell me, we got to do something about it. Where do you see things lightening up, or where do you see, what is hot? All the areas that we're talking about are hot. We got to do something about getting people in homes.
Yeah, no, definitely. You see the low inventory numbers goes to show you that, hey, it's an inventory problem, not a rate problem, right? And so what I like to do is to try to figure out exactly where my folks want to be or what area generally folks want to be, and then see if we can manufacture some new homes for them, right? So, that's sending letters out saying, hey, I have buyers that are interested in your neighborhood, I think about or know someone that's selling, that type of thing, trying to generate your own listings that are off market. Like we have one now just across the street from the University District in Bagley, where we do the same thing and we're able to get an off-market deal from our out-of-state clients. And we just completed inspection yesterday. This is a house that was never on market, never made it to market, and we're able to put my family into it without all the fuss and muss. So you got to get creative with some of these strategies to be able to find new inventory.
Yeah, Bagley, another great area in Detroit. You guys got to go check it out. It's really jumping. And Becky Alley, speaking of jumping, I don't think anybody's busier than you. We talked about it. I'm going to give out some staggering statistics. Month of April, 240 leads from prospective buyers. So that just shows you there might be some areas of the country that are slowing down, although home prices throughout the nation are continuously going up. But here in metropolitan Detroit, Becky, the interest is phenomenal and you're extremely busy.
Yeah, people are seeing the benefits of home ownership. And when Harvey was mentioning the education piece, I spend a lot of time with a lot of people speaking one-on-one and in groups about that educational piece, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of people that just don't know. There's a lot of people that bought 2 houses and they still have no idea what they even went through the first time because they weren't handled by proper professionals or running around with pieces of paper that don't really matter. And it's back to basics right now. We are a people industry and we might have technology that can help us. But at the end of the day, if you are not getting a person on the other end of the phone within 5 minutes of you wanting to apply for a mortgage, that's a problem because, you can't apply for a mortgage online. You have to know what's happening. You have to know not just what's in front of your face, but down the road. To Harvey's point again, taxes. What are the taxes now? What are they going to be? So that way we can make sure we're setting people up for success. And Ed taking that time to go door knocking, shake the hands, kiss the babies is why his offers are getting accepted, is creating opportunities. You have to create opportunities. Icons don't follow trends, we set them. And that's why Ed is in the status that he is, putting his clients in these places, in these homes where they wouldn't otherwise have these opportunities. The other thing is there's a lot of generations house swapping. I have quite a few buyers right now where, like to Ed's point, you have houses that never even hit the market, where it's mom selling to daughter or grandma selling to grandkids, and then the brothers buying other brothers' homes. And these are also not helping the inventory problem for the people that are not in the situations to actually have a relative that maybe they could buy from. So our clients are learning to be competitive and move within the shades of gray that they can. But Ed is definitely trailblazing and finding opportunities where they actually don't exist for other agents that are not thinking outside the box.
Yeah, this is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fair Independent Mortgage Corporation. We're joined by Ed Butler from the Good Company Real Estate, where I've been in the business a long, long time. Also today, John Kolb, one of my favorite Federal Reserve commentary coming out today. John Kolb is going to come out with what his prediction is, but
it's like the groundhog.
Yeah, right. So John, we got to talk about it a little bit. It's just noise at this point to us. As we know, Ed addressed it, no shortage of people out there looking for homes, but there's a shortage of inventory out there. The Fed's wrecking things, in our opinion. That's my word, nobody else's. John Kolb, I say that the results of the Federal Reserve meeting will come out today around 2:30. We say, you and I are both in concert, we say the Fed will continue their posture and raise the Fed funds rate by 25 bips, even though they shouldn't. They should start lowering, but they won't. This will make the 10th rate hike since March 17th, 2022. So the good news is mortgage rates, in our opinion, have built in the Fed's decision. They know that what the Fed's going to raise them 25 basis points. It's no big deal. But what is a big deal, panel, and specifically John Kolb, is the commentary. It's always about the commentary surrounding the decision. For example, panel, if Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, indicates that they're pausing, that's good news. If he indicates that future raises are going to continue because things aren't being taking care of them the way he thinks they should be, that's bad news. If he says they see inflation coming, that's bad news. If he says it's calming down, that's good news. But if he's non-committal, last but not least, if he's non-committal about the future, it could make the markets nervous, John Cole. What do you say?
Oh, I say that, I think we've already built in possibly a half. We both think that it's only going to be a quarter. We've seen the market rally yesterday and today coming back around. So there's something in the air that is giving investors positive vibes about what's going to come out. But like you said, who knows what this guy is going to say? He talks out of both sides of his mouth, and also another area. And we just don't agree with how they're doing things. The rapid increase in trying to curb off inflation is not the way to do it. We should have eased into it and let everybody kind of get to it, because he's really put a halt on a lot of things that were going good for a lot of good people. The jobs reports are, I don't want to say fraudulent, but stacked, right? They come out with their reports, and then they come back out and change them a month later. And that's what's causing the markets to change a little bit right now. So, it's we're going to see a quarter in a rate in an increase, and then it depends on what he says after the meeting, and that's where the real volatility comes.
Yeah, it's always in the comments. And Harvey Freed, what happens when they make these comments, then it throws a panic, a little bit of fear if it's negative news. Some home buyers will say that they don't want to be out in the market, but we know that's not the reality. The reality in the market, I don't care what you read in the newspaper, the real news is on the street. The real news is in the market, because you're ready. There's an old saying, the market makes the market. The news doesn't make the market. The market makes the market. So if there are no homes for sale in Huntington Woods and only 6 homes for sale in Trenton, okay, and no sales in the Bagley district, no homes for sale, which we know they're going to sell if they ever get put on the market, Harvey Freed, the market makes the market.
Yeah, the data out there is definitely not gonna lie to anybody. Let's go here, Harry. Getting these clients prepared. We've discussed this, where the market is, and now it's to educate these buyers and even sellers out there, because a lot of the sellers are looking to purchase again. The real estate agents are going to their house, Ed. They're telling them, I'm going to get you top dollar for your house, but they need an exit strategy to buy that next house. I really suggest, Ed, you're with good company, and I saw you guys are having a couple new home buying seminars that Becky hosts. I really urge families to contact you guys and go to these seminars. You get a little free meal, but more importantly, the education is over the charts. It's everything they need to know, whether you're a buyer or a seller in today's market. And again, we always said last week on the show, data, DNA, these things you can't be reputed. These are the truth. The truth is right there in all the numbers. Get yourself educated and hook yourself up with some great people.
And we're running on 11:50 right now on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender. Ed Butler, the good company, real estate, Royal Oak, Michigan. Ed been in the business a long time. Hosts a show, a little YouTube show called The Closing Table on YouTube. Go on, check it out. I listened to some previous shows. Does a great job. Ed, I'm going to give you the last words of the day. Go ahead, and then we'll go around to the panel. We appreciate you having you on our podcast. What are your last words for the day? What's your advice?
Yeah, I want to say is that piggybacking off Harvey, definitely get educated in the market. Come out, let us come into seminars. Check it out on YouTube. There's a lot of great information out there. Also, you can find me on YouTube, Ed Butler Detroit, where I talk all about Detroit and things that, educating yourself on what the market's doing for a deeper dive. But definitely get educated so that you're prepared and you're around that learning curve before you hit the market. Because if you hit the market unprepared, it could be definitely a shocking experience.
Excellent. We appreciate that. Becky Alley, last words of the day.
Education is free. We don't charge you. We actually give things away when you come with the home buyer seminars. And, Ed puts out a lot of really good information because he cares. when you can align yourself with someone that is not looking at you like a paycheck, because it's not a matter of if, it's when, right? So if it doesn't work for you now, if it's 5 years from now, that's okay. We're here to help you, hold your hand. There's a lot of bad information out there. And to Harry's point, everything is reactionary. Someone goes out there and says black and then everyone wants to go white, or red and then it goes blue. Like, everyone is so reactionary depending on what the media is saying, what the Fed is saying. You have to just quiet the noise, because to that point, like Harvey or Harry said, the proof is on the streets. The ones that are in the mud every day, getting in the dirt with you, helping you get to these homes, creating opportunities, whether you're buying or selling. Because for every 2 houses that are on the market, one of them is someone that needs to be a step-up buyer. Where are those people going to go? We have to create the opportunities. So aligning yourself with the right professionals that have done this a time or two is what's going to help you get these accepted offers. And that is why we are in the position that we're in.
That's such great advice, Becky. John Cole, last words of the day.
I mean, there's not much more to say than what this panel has already spit out. So, I mean, just keep them educated, keep looking, don't give up. The house is out there. You got to just find the right realtor to make sure that they make the right connection with the right listing agent, and you'll get into a home.
Appreciate that, John. Harvey Freed.
I think I don't want to pat our Hardcore Mortgage Show on the back too much, but I think we came up with the word several years ago, pocket listing. No doubt that's starting to come to the limelight now. Ed mentioned it. I had a couple people call me, and we're seeing more and more of that. So make sure, even on those pocket listings, you need to have your team together. So focus on Becky's stuff, the education piece, and putting that team together.
Yeah, everybody out there, we appreciate you joining Ed Butler from the Good Company Real Estate Royal Oak, and always an expert in Detroit. He knows all the neighborhoods all around, as Becky Alley, Harvey Freed, John Kolb do. I always like being on with people that are smart, been in the business a long time, and most of all, they have their clients back. Always taking an interest in what their clients' wants and needs are, and not just trying to get them into a program du jour, a house they don't need. Everybody out there, I'm telling you right now, interest rates are where they're going to be for a while. They're going to stay stable. Do not buy into the fact that there is some runaway high interest rate environment coming. It's not. 6.5 historically on a 30-year fix is very, very strong. So those are my last words of the day. Thanks to Ed Butler, Good Company Real Estate, Becky Alley, top 1% of all loan originators in the United States, Harvey Freed, co-host 97.1, 23-year running Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, heard every Saturday morning from 9 to 10. And Mr. John Kolb, we appreciate everybody out there. Listen, thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ed. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
I'll talk to everybody. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Pretty sure this podcast is still going because Roberto hasn't cut us off.
It's all good. What's up, everybody?
Yeah. All right. See you later.
We're still here.
It's the after party.
Hit that red button that says leave meeting. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.